Okay, hi everybody. I'm Maida and this is Ruth. We
Hello.
are childhood friends and we grew up together. And recently I moved back to Texas. And moving back to Texas, I reconnected with a lot of friends. And Ruth was one of those friends. And, and having conversations and, going over the things that happened while we were growing up. And now that we are in a different mindset as adults, we realized that there was so much trauma that, a lot of us went through while we were little and that was never talked about. So we wanted to create a safe space for people in their RGV, like us, to come together and be able to find a way to heal and be able to see that, they weren't alone in the experiences that they went through. Just because for a long time, I know Ruth felt the same way and I did too, even though we were going through two different life experiences, that feeling of emptiness and being alone because you had nobody to hear you or to vent to was the same. So again, we wanted to create a safe space for people in RGV and people all over the world to connect and realize that, you aren't alone and, you weren't the only one that went through this, but there also is hope to heal and to become even greater than you are now. Also,
Exactly.
yeah. And our podcast, what we want to do is be able to promote all of the excellent people who are in the Valley. So we will be talking and bringing up and trying new products from different businesses, small businesses in the RGV. And we hope to hear from you guys. And if you want us to promote your small business, and let us know, and we will be for sure happy to help you out.
Especially the food and the candy.
Yes.
All right, awesome. So, like Maida said, we have both lived two completely separate life. We did grow up together, but we had a lot of the very similar experiences where things happened and we never had anybody we could talk to or let it out. And now as adults, we know that there's a way to heal and be better people and not go through that same situation for our kids or whoever else we can help. So that's really what we're trying to strive for. Like Maida said, have that safe space where you can talk about it. There are people out there that you can come together and help that healing process so you can move forward from that. With that being said, the first business that we're going to introduce in our newly formed podcast is Picalicious. This is from a friend of mine. Her name's Victoria Garcia. Um, she makes gushers with little pica stuff, Skittles. Um, she sells these awesome variety packs that come with a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not a fan of these kind of candies, but I
These.
can't I can't stop eating these. I really cannot stop eating them. They are delicious. It it's crazy. I've never, even as a kid, I don't think I ever liked like chile stuff like this.
My
It's so
4-year-old
good,
was
right?
so. Yeah. I picked them up today, and I'm not gonna lie. Before I got home, I was already in the bag, and they were amazing. I can't wait to make some drinks tonight with this one.
I'm already
But
beating you with that.
but yeah, great. And we will link her business page and her menu and everything on the description of the video. And we hope you guys go check her out. And we're not gonna profit anything of any small business or anything. It's only to help you guys promote and get your name out there so that you guys can be successful too, because that's the
Ex-
ultimate goal.
exactly. Yes, ma'am. That is what we're wanting to do. Make sure that we help everyone else out there. Especially from down here, there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of people that are doing a lot of things that isn't really put out there. So I really hope this helps a lot of the small businesses down here.
Mama's in, hold on. Okay. And just a little bit about us. So my name is Maida Carrier. It used to be Maida de Leon. I grew up in Los Fresnos, Texas. Um, I grew up in Las Palmas in the projects and with Ruth.
Whoop, whoop.
Las Palmas.
Las Palmas.
And throughout that, we grew up in Section 8 housing, and we moved a lot just because it was very unstable while growing up. And at 17 years old, I decided that it was time for me to leave. And for me, the only way to leave the Valley was through the military. So at 17 years old, I joined the military and I left. I graduated high school in January of 2009, and in February of 2009, I was already in basic training. I didn't get to experience a lot of things that everybody else in my class did, like the senior trip or walk the line or anything else, because I did leave for the Army. But I feel that I have no regrets with that, because I lived such an amazing life while I was growing up in the military. And I went through hard times like everything else, but I do owe everything that I have now to making the decision to leave the military, to leave for the military and leave the Valley. I'm married and I have a son, and we just moved back to Texas. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Oh, and I was in the Army for 10 years. I forgot. I was in the Army for 10 years and I just got out. My bad. I got out in May 2019. So I am a 10-year Army veteran. I got out as a staff sergeant. I got out to better focus on my son and to better focus on my family. At 10 years, it was really easy to either go the 10 more or make the decision to get out. And I chose to give my full time for my son and my husband. I didn't want to deploy again. I didn't want to do anything else. I just needed to be a mom to my son. And I'm a full-time student and I'm doing other projects. So yes, that's me.
You're a busy woman. Awesome. A little bit about myself. I also grew up in Los Fresnos, Texas. Actually, Maida and I were neighbors at the Las Palmas projects there in Los Fresnos. We grew up, I mean, poor, our parents, Mexican. My mom didn't work. My dad was the only one that worked. He didn't and still doesn't know very much English. He can make some conversation. So a lot of jobs he's had, or he did have, weren't high paying jobs or anything like that. And a lot of things happened growing up that I don't think we really maybe could comprehend at the time. We were kids growing up, I left the Valley when I turned 18. Unfortunately, I did not join the Army. Actually, fortunately, maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not physically fit, right? So I would not have joined the Army, but I left. I left. I needed to get out. It was interesting. I was gone for a long time from the Valley. I've come back. I've been back in the Valley for a while now. I'm in an amazing relationship. I have 2 daughters that I'm helping raise, and it is a completely different type of life now in comparison how it was, of course, at one point here. I don't think we ever think that we're coming back to Texas, when we leave, or that we think we're ever going to come back to the Valley when we leave. But maybe this is why. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hopefully this is going to be something that will help a lot of people and bring a little more kind of an eye-opener out there. And I guess we'll go from there, right? We'll see.
Yeah. And during these conversations, we will be talking about difficult topics like sexual harassment, sexual assault, domestic violence, and amongst other topics like growing up, being part of the LGBTQ family community in the Valley. So
right.
If at any time anybody feels that, they're being triggered or it's something that they cannot deal with, go ahead and stop the video and step away and reach out to somebody who's there for you. And we will be linking resources that are free and other resources also that, could be of help to anybody who needs any assistance, whether it be mental health assistance or maybe, medical care. So we'll provide the resources down below.
Awesome.
And, like Ruth was saying, there was a lot of things that weren't said, that weren't understood while we were growing up. And that's why today's episode is called Las Cosas que no se dicen.
Sorry, I keep getting chile on my fingers.
But yeah, so this episode we called Las Cosas.
That was a serious moment. Let's start over.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Okay, so the name of this episode will be called Las Cosas que no se dicen. And we will be speaking Spanglish because it comes in and out. But yeah, like Ruth said, there was a lot of things growing up that happened that were never talked about, that were kept, on the low and swept under the rug. Excuse me, I froze. But I
thought you were getting emotional.
No, not yet. But yeah, so there was a lot of things that weren't talked about. So, when we started having a conversation, when Ruth came over and we started talking, there was a lot of things that just made sense. There was a lot of things that, I had faint memories about, and I didn't know, like, did I imagine this? Is this a dream? But to come back home after being gone for, 10 years and to verify that, the things that I thought were just dreams happened, was just very mind-blowing to me. We grew up in a generation and with parents who were unfortunately not taught how to deal with things, how to deal with talking about, what if somebody touched you? What if somebody close to you, a tia, anybody, like, what if somebody touched you and they don't know how to talk about it? We're growing up under these people who weren't taught these tools of how to communicate and how to properly tell their kids, like, hey,
right.
I'm your safety zone, like, come to me and I got you.
Right.
Instead, in my experience, and in what I went through personally, it was the other way around, and I don't know what you think, Ruth. I don't know how you feel about it. Like, it was just.
Yeah, it's been where, well, first of all, before I go and say anything that's going to come out of my mouth is my own, it's my own opinion or interpretation of feelings and whatever it is that I've experienced, right? Do not quote me on anything. If you're going to quote me because I said it for my own self. Because, I've not ever gone to school for any of this. And it's just how I've been able to manage myself with things. I think it was more of because of how inappropriate it would have been, instead of them being, or the response of the adults in our lives, their response was, oh no, shut up, you're in trouble now because you're saying that, era un regaño instead of, oh, well, let me hear you out. You know what I mean?
Comfort you. Let me be the mom or the dad that you need, because you just went through this traumatic ass shit, and I'm not here to not believe you. I'm here to fucking believe you. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And I understand, I get it full-heartedly. Like, I get it. They weren't taught that. But there's just some things as a parent that I feel like you have stepchildren, and you would never think about turning them away like that, the way that we were turned away,
right.
like.
It's like you said, it's that our parents grew up in a completely different era where I am sure they did not get love or support or anything, and the mentality stayed that way for so long that no one ever did anything about it. They just, oh, that's just how it is. because you don't talk about it, you know? That's why las cosas que no se dicen, no se dicen.
They
It
don't like the
stays
thing is,
that,
to me it's like, okay, but wouldn't it make sense? And this is where I'm torn. Like, wouldn't it make sense that because they went through certain things, you know, or if they did go through certain things, because some people didn't and they just asked.
right,
But for example, for my mother, she did go. She told me one time that she did go through the same thing that I went through growing up, which was I was touched as a child by somebody close to us. And she had told me, yeah, I went through this when I was young, but knowing what happened and how you felt and being in that situation, and then allowing for something else to happen to your own child, to your children, you know, not just once, but more than once to two different children. That's where I'm stuck. Like, you knew because you felt it. You've known firsthand. Now you just made the decision to put your child to allow your child to, one, go through that shit alone, and
right.
two, to for it to keep happening. And that's
Right.
where I'm torn. That's where I'm like, okay,
Look, for me, it was this. I also was, I don't know, touched, molested, however. I mean, it was never like full on rape or nothing like that. You know, it was not anything like that. It was, and I wish I could remember how long, because I'm assuming it's just my brain now not wanting to kind of keep shit in there, you know.
yeah, kind of
But
blocking.
right, yeah, but I mean, it was years. And when it first initially started to happen, that's when I said something, right? And it was to this person's um, significant other, right? And her reaction to me was, no one's going to believe you. I got smacked in the face. And so, what, I mean, I'm a kid, you know, that in itself, that reaction, well, I'm not going to tell anybody else because now I'm afraid if I say something, maybe I'm the one doing something, you
Blaming
know?
the person who is the one that's suffering the most.
Right, right. So I'm just going to cause problems, or I'm going to whatever, you know? And that is really the mentality that has been stuck with our type of culture for the longest time. And that's one of the things, I guess, more focusing with what we're trying to do is to let people know that it's not okay to keep thinking like that, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's not.
it's not.
And it's, it's, I think the first step of, for me, healing was like, this happened. And the person closest to me for a long time allowed it to happen. And because that happened, and throughout my life and my experiences with my own family, um, I've been through the whole, let's try it again. Hey, let's give this another chance. Hey, this time it's going to be positive. We're going to be best freaking sisters, you know? But no, because there has to be a time where even though it's family and even though it hurts with all your heart, you have to draw that line and understand that some relationships, no matter who they are, they don't have to be romantic relationships. If they are toxic into your life and if they are just bringing negativity, then you don't need to be around that. You don't.
Right.
And it's simple. And it's simple to say and it's hard to do. Trust me, I know, but for a long time, I think it was like probably 8 years since I had come back, 7 or 8, because I don't need to be around the things that were supposed to bring me back to the valley were the things that were keeping me away from the valley.
Right.
And like you brought up earlier, like, man, it's been an adjustment for me to move back to Texas, like to move back and know that this was the place that I fought so hard to leave, and now I'm back. But I have to like bring myself and center myself and think, you're here for something bigger. There's something else here, and the love and the comfort that I've gotten since I've been back in Texas, it's like se siente la cultura, se siente el amor, se siente la comida. Like, we already gained like 20 pounds. Like, I'm back in
All
Texas.
those tacos.
Yeah, yeah. But Yeah, there's that mentality of, because that's our, because that's our close relative, and don't say anything because you're going to ruin their life.
You're gonna ruin
I
their life. You don't say nothing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I've heard,
Exactly.
well, that's a young man who's moving up in life. Then why are you going to say something? Like the freaking justifications are endless that people can come up with. But no, if it's not okay, it's not okay. And say something and talk about it. And, if you are one of those persons that went through something when you were younger and you never brought it up and you've been keeping it, it's going to affect you as you continue to grow as a person.
And I think a lot of things too, Maida, is that people, because of how they've just kept it inside, I don't really think that people realize the effects that it actually has on you. There's going to be a lot of behaviors that you end up getting or end up being a certain way because of that. Like, there's sometimes where, I get told, oh, you're just like your dad, or oh, you're just like this or that. And what is it? It's behaviors that we've picked up, and it's not necessarily okay to still have those behaviors. I'm not going to say I'm perfect, because I am definitely not. I don't think anybody is, but the whole strive and at least goal, I guess, would be to try and become better people. And you do that by healing, because if you don't, and even let's just say, for example, let's just say that I was to forgive this person that did this to me, right? Would I heal? Maybe. Does it still hurt? Yes, definitely. But it's a process. It's not from one day to the next, and it's not from a year from now either. I mean, we're talking about it right now. I want to go and cry, and because it is a very emotional thing, like it still affects you.
Yo quiero.
But I mean, we just kind of, I don't know. I
feel like it's a decision within ourselves to say, I've been through some shitty shit and it was so damn crappy, but I know exactly who I don't want to be. I know exactly what characteristics of a person, of a leader, of anything that you want to think about that I don't need in my life. I know who the hell I needed when I was little. I know who was there for me. I know the type of teachers that were there for me. I went to school to be a teacher because of an amazing teacher who helped me, get through life. So, it's just a decision within ourselves to say, I'm done. This is the last generation in my freaking bloodline that's gonna go through this bullshit and can't freaking talk about sexual harassment or the shit that happened that hurt us so bad, that are affecting our intimacy, our relationship, our everything, our ways of coping, our ways of being mothers. Like I just had to say, I'm done, and this is the last time, and I will never be like this person. And I've, had to fight hard. And even with, going through depression and going through anxiety, you have to fight it and know that there's something better. And there's hope. Like, it's easily said. Like, there's hope out there. There's people that care about you. And you hear it a lot. And, when you're depressed and anxious,
those words are thrown out there so much. It would have to, and I mean, I've been one to throw words out like that. You know what I mean? Because that is the immediate reaction to whatever.
I'll be here if you need me, but then there's no one there.
Exactly. Right.
I'm still waiting for a phone call. Like, I'm butthurt still. I'm waiting for a phone call. One time I was super anxious, and I'm not going to say names, but I reached out to a friend, and then they were like, oh yeah, well, I'll message you back. No phone call. But you know what? I know for a fact who has the word, and not to take it personal either, because then, can't expect for everybody to be like you. Not everybody's going to actually say, hey, I'll be here for you, and then be there for you.
Yeah, that's one of the hard realities about it, is that a lot of us need to kind of we should never expect that people are going to be the way that we are or do what we do or whatever towards anybody. And this is all around. I mean, generally speaking, you know what I mean? That is the best mentality you can have, so that if and when someone,
sorry, again,
you'll be fine.
This is our view.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that.
Especially for this part, because this is and I share the same views as Ruth because we've talked about it, but this is our point of view.
Yeah, this is what we've come to kind of gather, I guess, within what we've experienced. You know what I mean? Because at least I am not. I didn't go to school for a teacher. I'm probably going to be saying some words that are made up. Who knows?
Yeah, I've been cussing more than you.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, thankfully we have more shows that we're going to make, right, to kind of pinpoint things here and there. But yeah, it's just we want to make sure that people know, and they're out there, that they are not alone. We ourselves have gone through some shit, and you know what, this is what's helping us cope. Us doing this right now is probably part of our healing process. It definitely has to be. We're wanting to do it. We're wanting to help people. That in itself is going to make us feel better, because you know what, yes, it was a shitty experience, but now we get to help somebody and let them know, you know what, we know how you feel. We understand how you feel. And there's ways to go about and, you know, let it go. It as not easy as that sounds, you know, there's ways and things that ourselves have done to be able to kind of cope with stuff and break that cycle, because that's essentially the way to progress, you know, be better. Yeah,
and also know, like, it's important to, like, everybody heals so differently. So the way that we're healing, the way that I'm healing is different from what Ruth is, the way that she's healing. So it's not going to be the same for everybody, but it's just the way that we've been able to, you know, become better for ourselves and for those people around us. So yeah, you know, for this first episode, we did keep it on a broader, you know, spectrum, just because we wanted to give you guys an idea of what we will be talking about, and, you know, sort of the content and, you know, the mood of what we'll be doing here too. So for our next episode, we will be talking about growing up within, you know, the Pride community while being in the RGB. So
well, who's in the Pride community? You? What? I'm just kidding, guys. It's me. I'm gay.
What? But yeah. I mean, we knew since she was little. We just didn't talk about it, porque esas cosas no se dicen.
Son las cosas que no se dicen.
Ruth era lesbiana. Es lesbiana.
Pero nadie decía.
Pero todos sabían. Pero nadie
except my parents. Except my parents. Everybody except my parents.
But yeah, but that's going to be our episode topic next week. Wait, ¿cuándo? We don't know yet, but it's going to come up. And yeah, don't forget to check out our girls' delicious shop. And again, we're going to link everything on the description. And
Sorry, I was eating these. I had to close it up again. Picalicious.
And I got the variety
pack. Got the variety pack too.
And I'm already like halfway. Ruth is more than halfway. She is on point. She delivered them all the way from the valley to San Antonio for me today. Like, this girl is on point, and she's a hustler. She, you know, she wants that money, and she's gonna get it, and she's succeeding, and she's an amazing, strong mother. So for sure, go check her business out and show her some love. And from us, we want to say thank you, and we really hope that you enjoyed this episode. And we hope to see you guys soon. And we hope that you guys, like and subscribe that and all that stuff. I don't know.
Like, subscribe. I need to ask my daughters. I think they know about all this YouTube stuff.
My 4-year-old probably knows. Oh, Mom, that's the like. So I don't know. But yeah, we hope to hear from you guys soon. And Yeah, thank
Maybe
you.
we can even get like ideas on things that they would like for us to talk
Yeah,
about. That'd be
for
awesome too.
sure. Yeah,
Let
message
us
us
know,
and
bring
let us
it
know.
up. Yeah, it's about growing up in the valley, all the different things that we've experienced in the RGV. So anybody that definitely wants to talk about things, you know, let us know. We'll be more than happy to bring it up. And like we said earlier, if you have a business in the Rio Grande Valley in
Yes.
South Texas, hit us up. That way we can promote you guys into our videos. We want to help out. That's the whole purpose of this, helping out the people down here.
Yeah.
So just let us know, and we'll be more than happy to try y'all stuff.
And we don't have to try it, I guess. But if you want to, send it. But if not, then we'll still be linking your guys' website
Yeah,
to the
definitely.
videos. But I mean, if you want to, if you want to. But we'll be linking your guys' pages and everything else on the video. And all you got to do is just send it to us. And then once we post, it'll play. And hopefully you guys get some more business, more customers.
Awesome.
So yeah, thank you, everybody. Bye.